It gives me great pleasure to introduce our next speaker, Architect Surinder Bagha, Principal Architect of Sakar Foundation, Chandigarh. The firm is actively engaged in research and studies of built environment. It is geared to improve the living conditions of society in rural, semi-urban areas through the medium of architecture.
Greetings from Chandigarh. My name is Surinder Bagha. I am a practicing architect in Chandigarh. I have done considerable work in the field of climate responsive architecture. So in this presentation, I will be sharing my work and thoughts to make the buildings energy efficient. Today's topic is climate responsive architecture. I would like to mention that all our holy books and all holy scriptures in India and abroad, they are focusing on saving the Mother Earth and saving the environment. These are the lines from Holy Purana. It is highlighting the importance of tree in our lives. Likewise, Guru Granth Sahib, the holy book of Sikhism, is also focusing on saving the Mother Earth. Similarly, there are shlokas and ayats in verses in Holy Quran advising mankind to save the Mother Earth. Bible also versifies same advice, highlighting the importance of saving the Mother Earth. All holy books are focusing on saving the environment and saving the Mother Earth. We architects are supposed to design buildings which are climate responsive, learning lessons from our all holy books. When we talk about sustainability in a very simpler language means taking less from the Mother Earth and giving more to people. Buildings consume nearly 48% of world's energy, and it is much higher figure than any other sector like agriculture, transportation, and industrial. If you look at the historic overview of India's architecture, you will find that our forefathers were very, very sensitive to designing buildings according to the local climatic conditions. This is a slide from Mohenjo-daro township, which was built in 2600 BC. This particular township was designed keeping in view the topography of the land, local climatic conditions, local materials, and it was so advanced at that stage that even there was a proper designed drainage system inbuilt. And when we go to Jaisalmer in Rajasthan, where we have a very, very hot and dry climate, in 1156, these Havelis were built. You see the facade of this structure. It is self-shading. All the windows are properly protected. And likewise, they adopted courtyard planning. They used local materials. They adopted narrow pathways for self-shading and so on. In the Mughal period, almost 200 years, you can see there was a lot of focus on creating very nice landscape designs. They used judicious use of water and landscape elements because the buildings and nature should merge. In down south, in Orsha, this Jahangir Palace was built in 17th century. It also have, the window projections, thick walls, courtyard planning to cater to the local climatic conditions. When Chandigarh was being built, picture on my right side top, right corner, is Pandit Nehru, India's first prime minister, along with the greatest architect of this century, the previous century, Le Corbusier. They decided to build the new city of Chandigarh. The first thing they decided was that this city should be according to the local climatic conditions. Corbusier, on reaching India, first of all, studied the climate of Punjab and climate of Chandigarh region, the wind direction, and all other humidity and other parameters. And even this on the left side is the open hand monument. It's about 80 feet tall monument. This open hand revolves like a weathercock, to give the wind direction. This is also the emblem of Chandigarh city. And the first building in the capital complex was High Court, where it is oriented in the wind direction. And this is the building which have a double roofing, and the entire glazing on the front side is shielded with a combination of horizontal and vertical louvers. Chandigarh is the only city probably in India where we have 35% of the green areas and nearly 1700 parks, small and big. Unfortunately, in the middle of 90s, we started designing buildings like this. One building is in one corner of India and the other one is in another part of India. You see, there's no difference in the buildings. All are glass clad or are aluminum clad, no balconies, no permanent ventilation. And we are supposed to design energy efficient buildings, climate responsive buildings. And this is a conceptual sketch which indicates that we all know that buildings consume a lot of energy in heating, cooling, lighting, water heating, and running of appliances. Energy efficient building or climate responsive building is one where by designing it, we can reduce the energy load. India is a huge subcontinent and we have divided India into 5 parts according to the climatic conditions. And now briefly, I will explain each climate zone. Each zone has its own design parameters. First zone is composite climate. In the map, you can see this golden color. This entire golden color shaded area is a composite climate. When we design buildings in this composite region, we have to follow the following strategies. These are the design strategies. We have to resist heat gain in summer and resist heat loss in winter. We have to promote heat loss in summer and we have to promote heat loss in monsoon season. We designed this church in Chandigarh, which is falling in composite region. In this church, you can see we have used white color on the barrel walls on the top of roof. This white color is used to reflect incident sun rays. And the walls around this church are cavity walls, and windows in particular you can see are very, very small openings, yet the light inside is sufficient. And you can see the cavity wall around, and you can see there's an ample light during the day. There's no need of artificial lighting inside. And another church we designed in Chandigarh, in the western side is very dangerous because you get a lot of heat transmitted inside from the western side. This church is designed in Chandigarh where we avoided having any windows on the front side. Windows are there, but they are very small or are hidden. Hence, thereby we use thick walls and slit windows so that we get proper light and ventilation without getting any heat transmitted inside. This is the plan of this church. And then we have designed this Bal Bhavan. It's a children's home in Mohali near Chandigarh. In this, on the western side, we have put all the huge toilets. The combined toilets are placed on the front side because this is the western side. We presumed that this whole heat will be consumed in the toilet area only, and my dormitories will remain cooler, and the residents the children can stay comfortably there. You see, all the windows are properly shaded. All the rooms have proper balconies. Residents can sit in the balconies and enjoy the breeze. There are terraces, there are other things. And then we designed a school in Mohali. This is an extension of an existing school. We got this project through a competition, and the competition's main guideline was that this will be given to an architect who will not cut even a single tree. The site was having lot many trees inside. So we designed a compact building and placed it so smartly so that not even a single tree was allowed to cut. And to make this compact building, long linear building, very interesting, we have given a 7-meter wide corridor in the middle, and there's a bridge connecting all the classrooms, and this bridge is having cutouts on the either side, on the left side and on the right side. These cutouts are facilitating air movement. In this section you can see it brings a lot of light from top, and the hot air can go up and it can escape through the outlets which are provided at the top. So hence thereby this building remains very cool. This is how we have opted to shield my windows. Then we designed a school in Chandigarh. You can see in this picture. Again, we opted to put toilets on the western side, and in addition to that, we have used combination of horizontal and vertical louvers to protect glazing and the windows. And in addition to that, we introduced, a combination of courtyards in the middle of this school, bigger courtyards and the smaller courtyards. And this is how smaller courtyards are covered so that rain will not disturb. And next in this line is a project which we got a first prize in a composite climate category. This was a ideas competition organized by HUDCO. You can see this housing block. It has earth berms at the bottom. It has planters in front of the windows, and it has perforations in the parapets. And then there is a staircase block in the middle, which facilitates the air movement, and the air, coming from the surrounding rooms can escape through the staircase vents at the top. This is the layout having courtyard planning of this township, and the top roof is made very thick so that the heat is not transmitted inside the interiors from the rooftop. And this is the sketch showing the air movement in this particular housing block. Then we designed a convention center in New Delhi, which is energy efficient, and we got the first prize in this competition. The entire roof is made of solar panels. We introduced rainwater harvesting. We introduced a lot of greenery. We have ensured that no existing tree is cut. And likewise, for introducing all these features, the design given by us got the first prize. It belongs to the Ministry of Agriculture. And a very, very small library in a village in Punjab. You see, I have put the book racks in the interior, which are lined along the external walls, because we feel that book racks can also absorb the heat. And the windows are put after the rack height, and the windows are very deep and shaded. It brings in sufficient amount of light inside, yet there is no heat going inside. And on the rooftop, you can see a cooling system placed, and this system cools the air, and the cooled air is brought down through the ducts. Hence, thereby we do not need any. You can see the ducts in this plan, and we have oriented it properly. We have on the eastern and the western side, we have a cavity wall, and the toilet block is placed on the western side, and staircase is placed on the eastern side, and so on. Then next category is a hot and dry region. In this category, this is the design mantra. These are the design strategies. We have to resist heat gain. We have to promote heat loss. When we design in a desert area, there's a lot of requirement to increase ventilation during the night time. And we got an opportunity to design housing for Indian military in Jaipur, in Queens area. And this is most of the blocks in this housing colony are facing north and south, because that is considered to be the best orientation. And I have to give many, many presentations to the Indian authorities for convincing them to put the housing blocks in this very manner. And these are the blocks. You see, all the windows are properly protected. Light colors are used, and facade is self-shading. And light color reflects the sunlight, so the houses remain comparatively cooler. No existing tree in the site was allowed to be cut. You can see one or two, whatever trees were there, we saved them. Next category is warm and humid climate. We all know that when we design buildings in a warm and humid region, we have to promote a lot of ventilation. Lot of ventilation is required to design building in a humid climate. This is mainly the coastal areas of India and West Bengal partially. You see, this is a youth hostel we designed in West Bengal in Bardhaman. In this youth hostel, where number 4 is written, you can see we have provided 6 sides openings because we get very rare electricity there because it's a very, very remote area. We ensure that if we open all the 6 windows on the 6 sides, you stay there comfortably with the natural cooling. And in addition to that, we get a lot of rainfall and pipes normally get choked in such public buildings. What we did is we ensured rainwater spouts because the water gets automatically cleaned and the terraces get washed off when there's rain. And even the external color scheme is facilitating, because buildings get darkened, with repeated rains. Even you can see how, windows are protected. We have put a proper box around every window so that there's no rain from top, bottom, left, right, anywhere. So windows are properly protected. This is the methodology we adopted for designing hostel in a humid climate. And next is the moderate zone. Moderate zone is a very small area, very small pocket somewhere near Pondicherry. And this is a region where architects can take little liberties to design the buildings. But mainly parameters remain the same as were, in the earlier categories. But still you can take little liberties because the climate is not very harsh. Then this is a typical example of a building in a moderate region. You see, this is a Bajaj Autos headquarters in Pune, and the architect is Rumi Shroff. Rumi Shroff is a Bombay-based leading architect. He designed these openings, slit openings in a staggered manner, and you can see earth berms. Then you can see how he has brought natural light in the interiors and the atrium. Hence, thereby there is no need to have artificial lighting in the atrium during the daytime. And next is a cold and cloudy region. And in this region, the design strategy is just opposite to what we were talking earlier. We have to resist heat loss and we have to promote heat gain. This is just the opposite what I was talking earlier. How we can do it? This is a very small cooperative bank in Shimla. You can see this is designed by a very famous architect, Ashok Long. Ashok Long has provided a glazing in front of the facade. There's a gap in between the glazing and in masonry wall. Air in the gap gets heated up when the sun rays fall on this glazing, and the heated air goes up and it is taken in this. You can see from here. The heated air is taken inside in the building through these ducts. Heating is reduced considerably. So there's a lot of saving in energy. We got a chance to design this composite regional center in Surinder in Jammu and Kashmir. This is the building. We get a lot of snowfall in this area. And it is very difficult to clean the rooftops during snowfall because it is practically very difficult to do it mechanically also and physically also, manually also. What we have done is we have calculated the angle of the roof, and when the snow falls now, the entire roof gets automatically cleaned. The snow falls on its own. This is a swastika shaped plan having atrium in the middle. It got 4 wings and each wing got different functions. These are the pictures of cross sections and the perspective view. And apart from that, there are a few other technologies. This is a solar tree. When we have to put more light in a smaller area, this solar tree is the solution to the solar light. And this is the American Professor Dixon who introduced the concept of urban farm. He says, why can't we grow agriculture on the buildings? And this is a typical building designed by a New York firm in Tokyo. Here, in this building, all the employees of this building can, grow vegetables and other fruits within the building on the terraces and on the front facade, as you can see in this building. and in their cafeteria they use those fruits and vegetables. This is a very famous building in in Bahrain, designed by South African architect Sean Killa. About 800 feet, two towers, which are having three wind turbines connected through bridges, and these turbines, generate wind energy, and this wind energy is meeting almost 15% of the requirement of this running these two towers. I think this is a brilliant idea, and about 800 feet, two towers angled to receive the wind, and these turbines can be maintained through these bridges, and the diameter of this turbine is something like 98 feet, huge ones. Close up of the same. And then we have a concept of wind tree. This wind tree catches the wind at a very slow speed even, and then it converts that wind energy into electric energy. There are some models in foreign. This building in Germany, where these louvers on the front side, which are in black color, are made of solar panels. This is a Hong Kong building where the entire glazing is made of solar panels. And this is a building in Finland where all the railings are made of solar panels. You see how nicely the architect has designed the railings made of solar panels. And the conclusion of my whole talk is further been subdivided into different climatic zones. I would like to mention that India is a huge subcontinent. It is further subdivided into 5 climatic zones, and each zone has its own design parameters. We architects should design the buildings keeping in view those parameters so that we make buildings which are climate responsive, which are energy efficient, and thereby we can make we can save our environment and save the Mother Earth. Thank you.
Thank you, Architect Surinder Bagha, for an insightful presentation. We will now be taking a short break to play our sponsor's video, and we'll be back with our next speaker.
This is Amit, and I am a proprietor of Metro Books, and our firm is a 12-year-old firm located in Delhi, and we have our head office in Delhi, and we have our 2 branch offices. One is in Pune and another one is in Chennai. So we are dealing in architecture and engineering books, and our core specialization is for engineering and architecture books. We have our specialization in architecture planning, interior design, animation, facility design planning, digital architecture, and construction project management, urban design, etc. So as you see, there are different books we have in our offices. So let me tell you, explain you the different books here. Like we have books for different publishers like Thames, Anderson, Lawrence King, etc., MIT Press. So you can see here in this rack that like all these books are very basic books, and most of the books are into various universities syllabus, and also there are some civil titles are also there, like the Seavers one, like the passive and low energy, and you can again see here some very basic books required for all universities. And you can see here the books in this rack is for Wiley, and this is a US based publisher, very renowned publisher, and publishing books on various subjects, and very famous books they have published. So that, and we are directly procuring from this publisher, And in this rack you can see the Routledge publisher. This publisher is from UK, and again a very renowned publisher in the field of engineering and architecture subject. So they also publish on all the subject like planning, urban design, interior design, fashion, animation, photography, etc. Like again you can see some books published by Indian publishers in this rack, and these are the very basic books published by different publishers. So we are also doing publishing for architecture books, and we deal in architecture books, and you can see these are the books by Design Media, and again this is a very famous publisher for design books and architecture books. And like I have told you that we are into the publishing field also, and we have published few titles on architecture subject, and some more titles also we are going to publish in next year, and this year also we are going to publish few titles, and we are still working on those titles to get it published within this year. Like one is for planning, and other one is for architecture, and one is for history of architecture. So these are the fields which we are planning this year. And you can see here the books based on design. This is again a very famous publisher for design books, and name of the publisher is Points. So that's this publisher is from China, and again you can see some more books for Link publishers, and that is again also a US publisher. Again you can see some book published by Actor publisher, and you can see some Archibald books are also there. That's again a very Korean publisher. Again some books are for links for different on housing, digital architecture, on housing, roofs, etc. And here you can see the books for European publishers. So all these books are for European publishers. So these are the books I have just shown you, and we are try to cover each and every subject relating to architecture, especially in publishing also. So that's all from my side. Thank you.